All right, I think we're here. So welcome to the Long Run with Joel and Christy. I'm Joel.
And I'm Christy.
And welcome to our live stream today. Thank you for those of you who are already in here. We already see a couple of you already that's already made some comments there. Thank you for joining us today. We're just going to take a second and let some more people jump in if they so choose to. Before we actually get into the meat of the thing there.
Yeah, what we're going to do while we give them a couple minutes is just kind of tell you about the videos that we have coming up this week.
Yeah.
We're going to do, for Thursday, we're going to have a video that is on summer fun on a budget, entertainment on a budget, that type thing. I don't even think we have a number set on what we were sharing with that video. Is just like what to do if you just want to cut your entertainment or summer fun budget a little bit, and what to do if you need to cut it completely. That's what's coming up Thursday. And Friday, he has a video where he's updating everyone on his running progress with what are you working on right now?
Oh, the 5K, the watermelon 5K on July the 4th. Hey, Sam.
Hey, Sam.
Hey, Lisa.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys. I'm working on the 5K, the watermelon run 5K up in Winter Park. Coming up next Tuesday. Trying for a PR there. Haven't done any speed work, so I'm not really looking for anything spectacular. But I'm working on that. There'll be an update on that coming Friday, which will probably give my results because I'll have them by then. So, no. This is no. That video is already in the can. So
yeah, but either way, July 4th isn't Friday.
Oh, this Friday. Lord, what am I thinking of? What year is it? And
all right, so there will be no results of a race.
I'm working on our Disney day that we're going to after our videos today.
Actually, after this one, and that's why we will try to keep it. We never do a live stream for longer than an hour anyway, but we will definitely be trying to keep it to an hour because we're going to be doing our first ever interview for our podcast playlist. With somebody that we're really excited to chat with. And so y'all be sure to watch because that one will be the first Thursday in July.
Cool.
What is that day? 7th?
Yes.
7th.
The 7th, yeah.
Yeah. No, 6th.
No, this is 7th. The first is on a Saturday. The first is Saturday. So if it's a Friday.
The 6th. July 6th.
If it's a Thursday, it's the 6th. This Friday is the 7th.
Yes. I know some of y'all have been asking for us to show our pantry. And so on Monday's grocery haul video, we are showing our pantry before we go outside to get our groceries. So
yeah.
So y'all be seeing it, warts and all. Because that is not necessarily my strong suit. All right. So, ready to start talking about the 100 things? Because we may not get through all 100.
Yeah.
Not likely.
We're probably going to limit this to a certain amount of time. So if we don't get through with it, then we will put some more. We'll do another one in a couple of weeks and do some more. Or maybe next month and do some more.
Yeah. I believe you have asked several times about our pantry, so you're about to see it. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to start with the 100 frugal living tips for beginners. Be sure that if you have tips that you feel like go along with the topic that we're actually on at the time, that you throw those in to the chat, and we will be sure to share that with the community as well. So the person who made this list, we will have this article linked in the description, but they have have them kind of organized together with things that go together. So that's why I say, so if we're in a certain type of tips, and you have one that we don't hit in this section, then be sure to share yours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the first one is to use a programmable thermostat to help lower your electricity costs. Ours is we rent, but it is programmable.
The first one we had was. This one is not.
Oh, that's right. There was a problem with this one.
Yeah. Back last year, they had to come do some work on the AC unit, and they actually realized they had to replace, because every time they would go out and do work on it outside, it would do something to the thermostat, and then they had to come back and reprogram the thermostat. So to have to quit reprogramming the thermostat to make it actually work, they changed it out to a non-programmable thermostat. So we had it set to where it would go to a certain temperature at like 9 o'clock at night, and then change back at 6 o'clock in the morning. And so we run it 75 at night with a fan that we use in our bedroom. And then we run it about 77, 78 during the day, which keeps it still pretty cool in here, regardless. Even in the summers, even in the hot summers in Florida, it still stays fairly decently comfortable, even at 78 during the day. So
yeah, we're really fortunate this house does stay cool. I even have times where the metal on my laptop will get cold, and I have to put a blanket on my legs while I'm using my laptop. So until the laptop gets warm, because it just sitting here in the house, like on the countertops and stuff like that, it'll get cold, which is kind of weird. But it does. They had to replace. They realized when a storm went through and it knocked out the AC here, and when they tried to turn it back on, it jumped to heating. And it kept doing that.
That's what that's what it was doing.
It was jumping to heating, and all of a sudden we'd be burning up because the house was being heated instead of cooled. So so that was why they had to replace it, was because it kept doing that. It was like, instead of figuring out how to make it stop jumping over to a heating, they just took out the programmable thing. So another thing that goes with that topic is using curtains, because if you keep your house darker, it'll stay cooler. I have iffy feelings about that, and only because I do think for your health sometimes you need to let in the sunshine.
Let the sunshine, let the sunshine.
Hopefully we won't have a copyright.
Oops.
Anyway,
if they copyright me, then they're doing something. Anybody remember that song? I didn't say they copy. Anybody out there remember that song? Okay.
Who doesn't know that song?
I don't know.
I'm sure there's young people might not know that song.
Anyway,
that's just my thought. But if you are trying to lower your electricity, and you need it during the summer, and you need it to stay cooler, curtains is obviously a great way to do that. But I would say that if you do that, you need to make sure you get outside and get some natural sunlight. To make sure that you're not just staying inside all day with your curtains drawn.
Yes, that is actually from hair. That is correct.
All right, let's see. Use fans. We use, like he mentioned a little while ago, we use fans in our bedrooms. Our son has a fan in his bedroom. We have one in ours. If you have a fan blowing on you at night, which is almost a necessity in the South, it helps a lot to keep things lower. Now they do have ceiling fans. We don't have any here in this rented apartment. We were told we could put some in if we wanted to, but then it becomes property of the property owner, which means that would be at our own cost, and we would not be able to take them with us. So we did not do that. We just used our standing fans. But a ceiling fan is a good way to keep the air circulating and keep it cool. And then oscillating fans or stand fans or window fans or something like that helps keep it lower as well.
That's correct.
Is to change rooms was their fourth tip. And that means whatever room is like the most comfortable room in your house, like if it's the living room, spend more time in that one than ones that might get hotter in the summer or colder in the winter. Like wherever the temperature is the best temperature, stay in those rooms more often throughout your day or time or night or whatever, so that you can you won't feel like you have to cool it or heat it more. So 5 is dress warmer. For some people that's not a great option, and I get it. It's just when we lived in colder temperatures, I have skin sensitivities, and if I wore a lot of layers, my skin would start irritating me. But if you don't have a problem with skin sensitivities and a lot of clothes irritating your skin, then that's the way to do it.
Correct.
And if you're a hotter climate like we are, wear shorts and short sleeves and stuff like that, will keep you cooler, obviously. So instead of feeling like you always have to bump down the temperature or whatever, adjust your clothing as much as possible. Obviously, in the summer, you can't adjust them too much.
Yep, that's correct.
You want to hit that one?
Yeah, number 6 is check your utility rates. And you can, one thing that we do is we do budget billing, which means every 3 months they give us this is what you're going to pay for the next 3 months, based on what they think your usage is going to be or what your usage was for the previous 3 months. And so since we started doing that, our electric bill for the last probably 9 months hasn't been over $189 a month. Now it was at $169 for 6 months, and it just went back up to $189 for the summer, which I kind of expected it to be an increase. But we've never paid more than $200 a month for our electricity since we've been living in this house. Now again, we do run our air conditioners a little higher than most people do. And
most people are like, really, you like that in the South? A lot of people run their air conditioning about 67 degrees or 68 or 9, something like that.
So in order to be able to budget for what our electricity bill is going to be, we do the budget billing so it doesn't spike in the summertime. Here it would spike in the summertime and be lower in the wintertime. In other places we've been in, it would spike in the wintertime because it was really, really cold, and not be as cold in the summertime. So that's kind of where we are. It's been good for us. If you'd like to try that out, contact your utility company and see if they offer budget billing for you to be able to take advantage of that.
And also it notes that if you have more than one utility company in your area, check around with best prices.
Absolutely.
We always recommend that. Make sure that you're getting the best price. Give your current company an opportunity to lower your rates if you have that option, by letting them know that you're looking at other companies and they might give you a promotional deal or something like that would lower your rate to keep your business. If they don't, then they're not being loyal to you. So be willing to shop around.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also check and see in your area if the rates are lower, like at night, to use your electricity than it is during the day, because a lot of companies know that most people do their, wash their clothes and things like that during the day. So washing your dishes and your clothes at night might make it cheaper as far as using electricity than it would be if you were using it during the daytime.
Absolutely.
So check around and see if those companies have a different rate for nighttime use.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. Swap out your light bulbs.
That's number 7. Swap out your light bulbs. Most people say to swap to LED bulbs because they don't burn as hot as the regular incandescent bulbs do. And I don't think we normally take that into consideration, that our light bulbs give off a lot of heat. If you're using just the regular incandescent light bulbs, then they do give off a lot of heat, and that's going to heat up your rooms a lot more, especially during the summertime. But the LED bulbs do not give off as much heat, and they last a lot longer. So it's not only going to save you on your electricity bill, it's also going to save you on your household essentials bill. You're not having to buy as many bulbs as you use them.
Amazing how much heat comes out of a 20-watt light bulb.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you are familiar with the Andy Griffith Show, then let us know.
Yeah, that's where that quote came from.
Yes. All right. Another one would be to use cold water instead of hot water on your clothes.
Yep. We do that anyway.
Yeah.
We use cold water pretty much for everything except towels and the flour sack towels that we wash.
Yeah. Now, it did say, I did read the other day that it said you don't actually have to use warm or hot water on your like bath towels and stuff. It really you really need to just use it on towels that might have like grease on it or stains from things like, cleaning up messes, which you probably wouldn't have it with your bath towels. So you might get away with using cold water on those towels as well. But like our flour sack towels, we use the hot water on them.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it too. Thanks for that comment there, Alicia. Fluorescent bulbs, we don't have any fluorescent bulbs in our home. And so if you do have fluorescent bulbs, then yeah, you can buy those in a lot of those in bulk. You can buy any of your bulbs in bulk, obviously, but that's a great tip right there. If you buy a bunch of them, then you're not as subject to inflation if you have a place to store them, because you buy them at a certain price, and then you don't have to buy them for a good long while again. So
you found a great
great deal there.
Nice. The 9th one was just turning things off, not leaving lights on in rooms and things like that is a good way to save money. And also using surge protectors and things like that might lower your expenses. Also protect yourself from getting power surge from electricity, right?
Correct.
Good morning, Nigel. Good to see you here. There you go. Yeah, I bet. That was a smart decision.
Yep.
So we're still moving on with our energy or electricity savings type things. Use only what you need. So don't let don't let the water run too long to warm up before getting in the shower. What?
Well, yes.
No, I'm kidding.
Correct. But in our case, where our bathroom is, in our bedroom, our water heater is way out in the garage, and it takes a while for the hot water to get from the hot water tank all the way up to the.
Yes, it does.
So it takes a few minutes. You have to run cold water. We have to run the hot water, and it comes out cold for a while before it actually gets up to us. So, but yeah, don't run hot water more than you actually need it to.
Right. It says fill the tub up less when you're giving your kids a bath. We don't because we don't have kids. But I suppose that's true. You don't want to run it very much anyway if they're really little, but they don't need a ton of water for their baths. So, and then don't let the water run while you're brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
And then, so that was number 10, was just not using, making sure you're not overusing water when you don't need to. There you go. that's how you do it. Nigel, we do 75 at night with the fans running, and then during the day we turn it up to 77, 78, somewhere around in that neighborhood. But because we kept it cool at night, it helps it to stay cool during the day.
Yep.
Clutter. Yeah. You don't want clutter.
No.
No.
You don't want clutter.
No.
No clutter, no clutter.
All right. Number 11 is buy energy efficient appliances. I heard someone say this in a video the other day, and it's true. Check with your state and see if they have any like rebates or any assistance or anything that they give to people who are upgrading their homes to make them more energy efficient. So maybe there might be like some kind of tax break or something you might get if you are replacing appliances with energy efficient ones. Again, we live in an apartment that we rent, so we don't replace. If anything, they would have to replace that. That's not on us.
Correct.
But that would be one thing to look into.
Yep. Number 12 is plan meals around the weather. Try not to use your oven on a very, very hot day. If you don't have to, don't. So you don't have to use the air conditioner to cool the house down even more after you cook. Likewise, having dinner in the oven on a cold day could give you some more heat. So it's kind of all about balance. So so try to plan your meals around the weather and make sure you're using those appliances efficiently.
I can honestly say that is something I need to work on. I make a meal plan not based on what the weather is outside. I just do it based on what I have in the freezer and pantry. So I need to probably keep that in mind, whether or not I'm heating the house up.
Yep. Yeah. And that's a good point right here. It does make a difference. And grilling is the best. Now, if you can grill outside, then that keeps all your heat outside. Yeah.
Where it's already hot.
Where it's already hot. So, that's a great point.
Well over 100 degrees. It's kind of interesting living down here in Florida. People assume that we have it a lot hotter than it is. And really, like, we haven't had any temperatures that have been over 95.
We haven't had anything over 95 yet this summer. So.
But the feel like will make it feel like it's about 100, 101. Yeah. But it's not actually 100 plus humidity.
I'll say this.
We're really not as hot as some other places in the South.
At our restaurant, we bring in our order takers when the heat index is over 100, and we haven't had to bring them in yet this summer. And last year, I think during June, we started bringing them inside into the air conditioning for a little while before we send them back out. So yeah, it hasn't been quite as hot this year as it was last year. So
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we did live in Houston, and yes, it was miserable.
Yeah, we've lived here, here, and we can compare that to. We've also lived in New Orleans, and we've lived in Houston, and Houston humidity and heat was it was
bad. And I have noticed I did notice some temperatures in Texas last week. Houston, I think, hit 115 degrees last week, and I'm glad I'm not there anymore.
As far as the temperature goes.
As far as the temperature goes.
When you say when you would go outside, like we lived about 2 miles from the Galleria Mall, and we would just walk there. Yeah. We wouldn't get on a bus or take a car. We would just go, let's walk to the mall. And you would walk outside, and it just felt like there was pressure on your chest from all the heat and humidity just like sitting on your chest. You don't really get that here. So, so I think it is definitely hotter in Texas. Yeah. Definitely. And New Orleans wasn't quite as hot, I don't think, as Texas either. But New Orleans is hotter than we've experienced here in Orlando too. Yep. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The air quality. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, like you would just kind of know that like if he was going to run, he was going to do it in the morning hours before like 6 o'clock.
Yep.
And I would go out for a walk, but I always made sure my path was a really shaded area, so I didn't have any sun directly on me. But you know, I will say in the winter though, the cold is a little colder than it is here. It never gets really cold here, but it would in Houston.
Yep.
But the summer there was more their winter was more winter than ours, and then their summer was more summer.
Correct.
If that makes any sense.
Yep.
Okay. So
Number 13.
Use a toaster oven instead of the oven for reheating stuff. You know, that's pretty self-explanatory. If you have one,
Yep.
we don't have a toaster oven, but there you go.
Number 14 is get rid of the landline. I don't remember the last time we had a landline phone.
I was going to say it was a really long time ago.
I know some people still have them, but yeah, that's just an added cost that you really don't need. If you have a cell phone that has good cell coverage in your area, landlines aren't really necessary anymore. It's just a thing of the past.
I want to say when we moved to Texas was when we moved to Tennessee was the first time we didn't get a landline. Is that right? So that would have been
2008. Yeah, we didn't get a landline when we moved to Tennessee for sure. So,
oh, no worries.
Actually, that's a great question. The humidity, when you're in the humidity, it makes you run slower. And people have asked me this a lot of times, especially new runners, because during the summer when it's really, really humid, they slow down and they're afraid that they're losing speed. But what I tell them is that the body doesn't know, like if you would normally run a 10-minute per mile pace during really, really high humidity times, you're only running 11 minutes per mile. Your body doesn't know pace. Your body knows effort. And so if you're giving the same effort that you would during the summer during high humidity, then yes, once the humidity goes back down, what I have found in my personal experience is I do get faster because I'm putting out the same effort. When I was running this morning, I was doing 8 miles and I was running at a really, really good pace, probably faster than I have in a while, especially during the humidity. But towards the end of the run, I kind of slowed down a little bit because it's just humid out there, and that thought just comes creeping back in my mind. Am I losing it again? But then I have to think about in October, November, it's going to get I'm going to get a lot faster because I am putting forth the same effort. Maybe not getting the same results, but putting forth the same effort, and my body recognizes effort. And by the end of the year, I'll be faster because I gave good effort during the humidity. So that's a great question that I get a lot from people who run. So yeah, thanks for that. Appreciate that. No, it's not a sidetrack at all. So happy to answer that question. Absolutely.
Okay, so back to the landlines. We have not had one in so long, and one of the reasons why was because we were moving around a decent amount. We didn't have to keep giving our family members different phone numbers and stuff. They just knew call the cell phone. We didn't have to give them like, oh, we're moving to this other state, so here's our new landline phone.
Yep.
So, and both of us we're living several states away from our mothers. So we wanted them to be able to call us easily without having to keep up with a bunch of phone numbers and stuff. So, we have not had one in so long, and I can't tell you like we haven't missed it. It just isn't.
Yeah, it just wasn't. It's not necessary. So
yeah.
Yep.
All right. So then
number 15, check your cell phone package. We did this a couple of years ago, and you can always check with your cell phone company provider to see if they have any deals, any rebates for anything. We did this, especially go between cell phone carriers. If you have multiple cell phone carriers in your area, go to one of your competitors and say, hey, this is what I've got with such and such. So if you're with Verizon, you say, hey, this is what I've got with Verizon. Can you beat that? And sometimes they'll beat that. We saw that with we were with Verizon. We switched to AT&T because we had AT&T internet service, and so they came by and said, "Hey, look, we can bundle this all in the package. We can get your rates down, and we'll give you rebates for free phones." Which we hadn't gotten new phones in a couple of years, so we were probably two
like
or three
4 or 5
versions
we were
behind.
yeah.
On those phones, and so they gave us the best model phones with the rebate, so we're not paying anything on our phones just for the service. They also gave us a AARP discount because I'm old and I'm a member of AARP now.
You do not have to be old to have an.
You don't have to,
AARP
yeah,
membership.
absolutely you don't. You can sign up for any time, but there's just some benefits you can't until after you turn 50. But we do get a discount through AARP. And I also get a reimbursement through my work as well, not for the full package, but for part of it. I get a stipend every month for my cell phone service, and that lowers our bill to right around $100 a month with all of those things. So.
And that's with 3 phones and 2 Apple Watches on them.
Yeah, that's a great point too. Also check for discounts, military discounts, veteran discounts, healthcare workers, service workers, all those extra savings, they add up. So always be. I tell people this all the time, especially when they're applying for jobs and things like that. But make people tell you no. Ask questions and say, if they can't do it, then they can't do it. But don't say no for people. Make them tell you no.
That's right.
On whatever you're asking for. So
I do know a lot of people are going to Mint Mobile. We don't have any experience with them because we're bundling with AT&T. Obviously, we don't go to Mint Mobile because we wouldn't be bundling with our internet if we did that. But that may be something to look into. I hear the rates are really low. So, check that out.
All right, so we're going to move on to some saving money on auto expenses because we all have cars and we all spend money on our cars. You want to take that first one right there?
Or we almost all have cars.
We almost all have cars.
Because some people live in a city.
Yeah.
16 is carpool to work. So if you got some coworkers that live nearby you, carpool so that you don't have the burden of the gas and wear and tear on your car only every day.
Yep. Number 17 is get a toll transponder. If you live in an area that
is toll heavy.
Is toll heavy, which we do. We can't get around hardly. It takes an hour to get anywhere unless you have a toll tag here. So we broke down right after we got here and got one. But what I've figured out is that if you make a certain amount of trips, they started giving rebates on those. And I got right before we went to Boston, we got a $30 rebate added back to our account for our toll transponder. And then just a couple of weeks ago, just last week, I got another text message saying that we had
got another credit.
Yeah, we got another credit. I don't know how much it is because I haven't checked my account yet, but we got another credit as well. So the more you use it, the more credits you get back that they send back to you. So
yeah, I was going to say, yeah, it left me.
Yeah. So yeah, you can't get around hardly anywhere in Orlando without using a toll tag.
I know what I was going to say. In Houston, we never did the toll. We had our GPS set to take us all, so that we would never have to go through a toll, and it worked there, but it does not work.
It does not work here. In Houston, they had roads that ran parallel to the toll roads, and so you could take a road without taking the toll road. Here you can't do that. I mean, you can, but it takes longer. It'll probably double your time going anywhere. So
and it's still like for us from here to go to Disney or Universal Studios is still 30 minutes if we weren't, and that's with the tolls. So
Yep.
I can't imagine how long it would take us there
Yeah.
if we were trying to avoid them. So, all right. 18 is similar to 16, where it was carpool to work. This one is carpool with the kids. So, you know, like if someone else who has kids is going to the same place, you take turns driving each other's kids there. Yep. So that you don't have to drive it every time. So, go ahead.
Sign up for mail from auto shops. Sometimes you can get some discounts on oil changes and work done. Some auto shops send out circulars, advertising, coupon postcards, things like that, advertising discounts on work that they can do, the work that they'll do on your cars, or just just ask, hey, you running any deals today? So. They'll let you know if they're not. Like I said, make people tell you no. Yeah.
Joel usually changes our cabin air filters and windshield wipers too. Yeah. Little things like that are easy to fix. so definitely save money on that is a great idea.
Absolutely.
And I mean, he's bought the stuff to do oil changes. In the future, he's gonna. We've lived in some places where we didn't feel comfortable with the idea of jacking up the car and climbing under it. Like when we lived in the apartment complex in Houston, and you would have to drive it up to the roof. The idea of like having it jacked up and do that was a little like. But here he has a garage and a.
I bought some little. Yeah, we bought some little ramps we can pull it up on too as well. So we do a lot of our own maintenance. Mm-hmm. I actually one of my team members, we were talking yesterday, and she said she had spent $400 to get what the mechanic said was spark package. And I said, did you get your spark plugs changed? She said, I guess. I don't know. He didn't really tell me what he did. I said,
she should have asked for explanations.
Yeah, I should have asked for explanations, and then just ask around. I mean, I told her I could have changed your spark plugs for us. That's not a really big job to do, and it takes probably about, depending on how many you have, probably 15 to 20 minutes. Ours has 8 because it's a hybrid. It's a 4-cylinder car, but it has 8 spark plugs because it's a hybrid. It took me about 30 minutes to change all 8 spark plugs. So it's not a big deal. You can change those out pretty quickly, and they're relatively inexpensive to change those out. So,
and also our car being a hybrid, a few years back, that backup battery stopped working, and we lived in Houston, and budgeting the bacon can probably attest to this. If your check engine light's on, they won't approve your car for your annual registration thing. So here in Florida, you don't have to get that done, but there in Texas, we did, and that's where we lived. When the backup battery stopped working, which threw the check engine light on. Technically, the car was running fine. It just wasn't getting any backup assistance. And so we were like, okay, what do we do? Because we won't be able to get our tags done or our registration. But when we looked at with the dealership, it was going to be.
They were going to charge us over $3,000 to replace the hybrid battery in the car. And so we researched it online, found a battery for $1,700, had it shipped to us, and I changed it out. It's really just a plug and play. You take out the back seat, turn the switch off, take the battery out, put the new battery in.
The only problem was really just that the backup battery is not light.
It's really heavy.
Rather heavy.
Yeah, it's really heavy.
Yeah. It was a lot to get it off of out of the box and into the back seat.
What? They're getting rid of the inspection requirement. Oh man,
Well,
that's
life's gonna
good.
get a little easier.
That's good for you guys. Man.
There's not. I don't know how many states are still hanging on to that. I know when we lived in Mississippi, they have the inspections. We didn't. Louisiana did, I think. They did not have it in Tennessee.
Yep.
Or here. They don't have it, and I don't think they had it. Was it Alabama? There was another state we lived that didn't have it.
Yeah, Alabama didn't have it either.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's great. The only thing I haven't tried yet on our car is the brake pads. I haven't fooled with brakes yet. It kind of scares me a little bit because I know I need brakes to stop. So I'll make a mistake putting those back on, and I'm in a world of hurt. But anyway,
yeah.
I may try that. I may try that in the future, but I just haven't tried it yet. Hey.
Thanks, Michelle. We appreciate you watching them.
Yeah, we wash and vacuum ours at home as well. That's right. There you go. We wash and vacuum our car at home as well. Well, sometimes we vacuum it home. If it gets too bad, we'll take it somewhere and we'll vacuum it out, but we'll pay for the extra duty vacuum cleaner.
Joel uses that car for work too, so it gets a little worse for wear sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah. So it needs to be cleaned more often, probably though.
And what's the price? I just want to ask the question. What's the price of gas around where you all are? Here it runs about anywhere from $3.20 to $3.30 right now, depending on where you get it at. We were watching some videos the other day of some because we used to live in East Tennessee, Northeast Tennessee, and gas up there is like $2.89.
Well, that was at Bucky's. Bucky's has lower gas than
That's
those places,
true.
but it was still. We were like, man, that must be nice. $3.09, $3.29.
$1.50 a liter Canadian. Okay, that's pretty good because a liter is just less than a gallon. Man, you're making me do math. Making me do conversions in my head.
Americans are always like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Liters? $3.19, yeah.
That's not
that's a Sam's Club around here is right about $3.20
Yep.
right now.
Okay.
So
yeah, and the Upside app, we've gas station rewards, yep. Upside app, that's a great one too. We don't use that one just because it asks to have a credit card on the account. We use
Checkout 51.
Yeah, and we just
does not require
scan in our gas receipts and things.
Yeah, you just scan the receipt. You don't have to. You have to tell it you're going to buy gas at that place. You have to click on it and activate the offer, but then you just scan the receipt.
Yeah, but Upside, it's a good app. We used it once, I think, on a road trip that we did. Yeah, we use Gas Buddy as well to see prices. So those are all great apps. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And just to your comment, we fell in love with Bucky's when we lived in Houston. There's one here that's about an hour away, so we don't go often.
Yep.
But they did just open the new one up in Sevierville, where our son and daughter-in-law lives, and so that's what we were watching, was them doing a video, a YouTube couple that was doing a video from the new Bucky's.
Yep.
So that's why we were hearing what the gas price was there. Yep. All right, so let's go to 20. 20 is plan your outings. So in other words, make it so that all your errands are done in one trip instead of doing them spread out all week. Do them all on one day in one trip.
Yep.
So.
Number 21, we already talked about that one. Wash your own car. A lot of us do that. That'll save you probably $8 or more every time you wash your car if you do it yourself.
Yeah, we were going to do that at our house, though. We would have to figure out something because the one that we rent, the water spigot is not in an accessible area to where your car is. So it would be very hard. I was out there the other day washing out the garbage cans with that water faucet with the hose that was already on it, and water went spraying everywhere because the hose was broken. It was quite a mess.
Yeah.
And I was quite soaked. But it really is. If you would have to have like several hoses connected to get it to a place where you could wash your car.
Right.
So.
Yep.
We're going to have to figure that out.
Number 22 is shop around for car insurance. We do that probably at least, probably every time it comes up for renewal, we shop around our car insurance, see if we can get a lower rate. And sometimes we can, sometimes we can't. But at least probably in the last couple of years, we've changed at least once a year. Usually going back between Geico and Progressive, because they'll give me a lower rate and then they jack it back up and I go back over to the other one. So you can also call your insurance company and say, hey, look, I'm thinking about changing my insurance. You went up on me $200 over 6 months, and I'm just looking around. I can get it cheaper here. Can you match that? And sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. And just make, like I said, make them tell you no, and then go with the cheaper rate.
I don't know the last time we did like a go through the car wash kind of thing. Do you? Like
no.
Like normally we do the kind where you get out and you clean it yourself.
Yeah, we haven't been through a drive-through car wash in quite a while. So
hey, the last time may have been when we lived in Houston because they opened up one that was put in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the longest car wash.
Yeah, and Buckys, yeah,
Buckys.
Buckys out in Katy, Texas.
Right. Yeah. So I think that may be the last time we've even been to that kind that you drive through. Yeah,
check your local farmer's insurance if you have that option. That's a great tip. We did that with our house insurance back in when we owned a house back in the early to mid 2000s. When we bought the house, they had valued the house at a certain price, and so our insurance was really high. We didn't really know it until we decided to shop it around, and they came out, valued the house a little lower. Farm
Bureau.
Yeah, Farm Bureau came out and gave us a much better rate. We dropped our house payment because we paid our insurance with our house payment, and our house payment came down probably about $100 a month because we changed our insurance. Now I called the insurance company to see if they would give us a better rate. The original one, and they told me no. Even though we were coming up on a renewal period, they told me I was trying to change too close to the renewal date. I said, okay, well, I'll just let it cancel because Farm Bureau is going to give me a better rate. So then we did that, and it worked out a lot better for us. So
yeah, do that. Yeah, and that would probably be true. I mean, we were talking about cars, so I think that was probably where her tip was coming from. So, farmers insurance for car, and like you said, that was also very beneficial when it came to our house, which really killed us. That when we asked our original insurance company, we said, oh, we realized that you valued our home as being like $1 million or something. We were like, no house in our area in Tennessee is worth this much money, so we want you to come and actually look at it. And they said, oh, we don't do that this time of year. And we were like, yeah, but we know that you've been overcharging us. And they said, but we don't do that this time of year, so we're not going to do it. And so that's why we said, okay, well, we're just going to shop around it.
Yep.
And immediately Farm Bureau came out and was like, oh yeah,
you're paying way too much for this. So.
Because they were local and they knew.
Yeah.
And the one that the mortgage company had set us up with was one that was out New York, maybe. And probably for New York, if you bought a house that the size of the house that we had, maybe you would have $1 million home. But that wasn't true.
Ours was about
in Northeast Tennessee.
Yeah, ours was about $200,000. It was about $200,000 home. So it wasn't.
It was so not worth it. Like, we were way being overcharged for insurance. So do that with all of them.
Yep.
Cars, motorcycles, everything. Make sure you're not being overcharged.
Wow. That's awesome.
That is awesome. To add something and even a motorcycle, because some people just find that to be more dangerous. Is like you would think they would have thought of it like owning a sports car,
Yep.
you know, or a red car. Like they would have been like, oh, that's more dangerous. Charge more.
Yeah.
not charge less.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, let's see. It's been 50 minutes and we're moving into a different category. Do you think we should move into the category or?
Well, let's put a pin in it there and we'll come back in a couple weeks and whenever it is.
Yeah, at the end of July we'll pick up and do. Hopefully we'll get past. We're at number 22.
Yeah.
We just finished, so we will be starting with 23 as the next one. So.
Yeah, there'll be a boat, car, 2 trucks, homeowners. Wow, that's awesome.
Bundling pays. Huh?
Bundling does pay. That is correct.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about that earlier with the cell phones and internet. We have our cell phones and internet bundled and save a lot of money on both because we do that.
Yep.
Bundling pays.
It does pay. Yes. All right. So guys, we're going to cut it off here for today. We're going to come back. We got through 22 of them. That's not too bad. In just under an hour's time. So
this may be a series.
Yeah, this will be a series over the next few months. We'll do another one coming up in July.
It'll take all summer. Yes.
Yeah, because we all like to talk about them. That's right. A good thing. Thank you guys for all your comments today and in the chat, and we're just pleased to have you all here. And
hopefully these tips will be useful to people who watch the live stream in the future. So we really appreciate y'all throwing in your tips as well.
Yeah. Thanks, Michelle. Go ahead and
thank you. We have
smash
not
that like button. I don't really think about saying that. So smash that like button, and we are chatty. So thank y'all for. I'm not normally chatty, but I've been a little bit chatty today. So So
impressive.
Anyway, So thanks you guys for bringing it out in me. So thank you guys for joining us today. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for being here with our channel. Y'all are great. Y'all make us great. Y'all make us look good. Thank you for that. And we're so excited about continuing this series. One that really hits in our wheelhouse coming up next month will be we'll be doing food stuff. So y'all know how we feel about that if you've seen any of our videos. So we'll be talking about that the next month when we do the live stream. So thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you to all those who are watching it on the replay. We appreciate you as well. Drop us a comment below. Let us know some frugal tips that you can see those in the people can see in the future. And we always love to hear those from any of our people that watch our videos. Thank you for that. Yeah, thank you for being a part of our community, and we're excited about where the future's headed.
No, we have to go eat lunch because we're doing an interview with somebody that's really exciting to us. It'll be the first one that shows up on our. It'll be the first time we've ever done an interview, and it'll be on our podcast playlist next Thursday. So y'all be watching for it. Y'all are gonna be like,
oh yeah, all right.
We love her.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks for joining us today. That's going to do it today for the long run. Joel and Chrissy. This is our live version. I'm Joel.
And I'm Christy.
And don't forget the long run. Give yourself a little grace.
Bye.
Bye, guys.